Hello and welcome to 66 Days to Success. I'm Jeff Ondash. Over the last 6, 7, 8 months, we've had shows about motivation and helping you to attain your goals and to be the best that you can be. Today we're going to have a little bit of a departure. In today's show, we're going to talk about one word, and that's perspective, and how to put things in this perspective of what is really important in your life. Is it material things or is it relationships? Is it health? What is it? Today we're going to do an interview with a man that I am very honored to call a friend, Gary Housteau. A few months ago, Gary was leading just a regular, normal, happy life. He was doing what he loves, taking photography at sporting events, being a dad, doing all the things, living and enjoying life. And then he finds out that he is diagnosed with colorectal cancer. Gary's life changed from that point on, and he had to learn how to put things into perspective. I'm not going to say anything more. The interview's coming up with Gary, and it's a wonderful one. And he puts things into a way of how we should all look at things, that nothing means more than relationships, than health, and how we really should look at things. We wake up every day and we have our health, we have our home, we have our jobs, we have our career, and we complain about things that really aren't important, and we take for granted the things that really are important. Gary is going to really tell us his story and give us a different way to look at life from the word perspective. Please sit back. We'll be right back, and I think you're really going to enjoy this interview with Mr. Gary Housteau. And welcome back, and I'm here now with Gary Housteau. Gary, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right. We're going to talk a little bit about Gary Housteau, the man. Let's talk about Gary Housteau, the boy. You come from a great sports family. Brothers and dad, everybody was involved, and from a little kid, you started your love affair with sports. So let's start there and move on forward from that
Well,
point.
my dad was a big sports guy in all sports, baseball, football, I guess, as much. And we just growing up watching the Browns and when we had a chance, or the Indians, and nothing really spectacular sporting-wise.
Well, of course, if you say the Browns, there's nothing really spectacular about that.
And I was fortunate as a young kid. I had a decent career. I mean, I was involved in the Little League World Series in 1977. That's kind of like where it all kind of began.
All the way to Williamsport?
All the way to Williamsport.
Really?
Single elimination.
Wow.
A little different back then. Only 8 teams. They have 16 now, and 4 from America. So back then it was a big deal. No ESPN was around.
You were on the Ohio team then?
We were a team from Youngstown, on the east side of Youngstown, MABC Field, Marietta High School, elementary school. And we went all the way, single elimination. We never lost till we got to Williamsport. And then once we got there, they had a little round robin tournament to like get a finish, if you will. But we lost our first game to Rochester, New York, and that was it for our chance to.
Wow.
But it was no ESPN or nothing like that. But it was kind of a big deal.
That's a great experience. I mean, how old were you? Like 9,
12 years
10?
old. I was
12 years old? Wow.
40 years ago this past August. Was a bunch of
Wow.
guys, Paulie Harris, Ronnie Jones, Chip Griffin, and others, Vince Miller, Mark Boyd. Some of them have passed even since that time. But
that's not been duplicated. We haven't had a team go, have
no,
we?
there's been nobody even from, maybe down in Hamilton in Ohio. I'm not even sure if another Ohio team's made it. But we won the Central Region. There were 4 regions at the time, and we won the Central Region, and we flew from Illinois to Williamsport, and Illinois was where we won our final regional tournament, and we went to Williamsport, and then after that we went to Washington D.C., saw a Baltimore Orioles game, Kansas City Royals back in the day at the old Memorial Stadium, and that was kind of it. And then they flew us back home, and that was the end of that trip. But it was 40 years ago this past August. That was kind of the beginning.
Goes by fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, my dad always coached Little League Baseball and Pony League and all the way. Baseball was his main sport. He was an umpire. My late brother Chuck as well. God rest his soul, was an umpire and a manager, and he played for Wilson. We all went to St. Stan's in South Side and Lower South Side, and then we all went to Woodrow Wilson. 4 kids. Chuck was the oldest, Ray, and then my sister Shar, and then myself. And we never, we were happy. We loved Wilson. Didn't win a whole lot in my career there, but I was the Nero Award winner when I was my senior year. I was two-time All-City, so I was a little middle guard. I was.
So you played football at Wilson?
Played football and baseball too a little bit, but football was the thing, and not real successful during our years under Coach Kopp there at Wilson. But we had a good.
Was that John Kopp?
John Kopp was our head
coach. So then he went to Cheney after.
No, he was at Cheney before.
Oh, and then went to Wilson. So it was later then. So you're younger than me then.
Yeah,
okay.
and I graduated '82 from Wilson, and we had some good talent on our team. We just couldn't put it together back in the day, and that was high school. Then I wanted to keep playing football. I probably would have maybe even tried to go to Ohio State. I don't know if I would have had the grades to go as a student, but I went up to Adrian, Michigan, and played some Division III football there. And we played against Augustana, who was the Mount Union before Mount Union was Mount Union. They were dominant. Kenny, the quarterback from the Bengals, Kenny Anderson was one of their big stars, and we played them at their place in the small school playoffs, and we lost. We should have beat them. We didn't know we lost. And so I had some good college experiences as well, and so it's been nothing spectacular in our family. We just been around. What happened is Chuck.
If you're good enough to make it on college on any level, that's an accomplishment.
Well,
I mean, that's nothing to look over. I mean, that's a great accomplishment.
But I'm more thankful for my career is because my brother Chuck in 1988 or '89 we started the Valley Playbook.
Yep, I remember
that was
the
what
newspaper.
Got me and really hooked on, instead of just stringing for the Vindicator, which I still kind of do right now on the side. We started on monthly publication back then with YSU and all the high school sports, and I'm sure a lot of high school fans from the 90s and maybe the early 2000s will remember we had a good 10-year run, and we kind of did some of the things that the Vindicator did with the cutouts when they made all league teams. We had our all playbook team, and we had some special issues, and it just kind of what made the connection to Ohio State for me is that I would do recruiting articles up here for them, who's being recruited, for the Buckeyes, for Ohio State, for an internet site down there. And it just kind of went, I would go down there for games because I have relatives down there, my in-laws are down there, and I would stop in the office and say hello. And it ended up being when Jim Tressel got hired, they just happened to have an opening, and I was a Ohio guy and up northeast Ohio, and said, do you want to come down and do some work for us whenever you can? And I said, sure, and I wanted to be there. My goal was to be there as long as Jim Tressel was there. Originally, I was hoping I was going to last that long, so I did do that. And now for Urban Meyer, it's been a great run.
So what was your job, your capacity with him?
Well, I've always been a writer, just like Chuck, my other brother, and Ray was more of the photographer who got kind of like introduced me maybe to it, and why not get paid for writing and photographer if you could at the same time? So that's how I got into it, and if I knew now what I knew back then what I know now as a photographer, I'm still not a good one because I work with
some of your stuff, man. Don't
but I work
don't downplay yourself. You do some really good work.
But I work with a lot of professional photographers, and they make me try to get better. So at least that's one thing as a photographer.
Well, they
things are going
well.
great. 17 seasons right now at Ohio State. I've never missed a home game.
Wow.
I've been blessed to travel to a lot of the Big Ten stadiums. I went to Oklahoma for that game last year.
So you travel with the team then?
No. It's all separate through either through Bucknuts or even sometimes just on my own. I drove out to Oklahoma City last year for Norman to see the Ohio State game because I got credentialed really late in the process and had no other real alternative at that point. So it was fun going there and having Oklahoma here this year, and always going to the big house is fun, which they do this year. And I've just been very fortunate to know good people along the way. Some of the great people because of the playbook that's gotten me. Ted Ginn Sr. is one of the best persons I've ever met in my life, and he's a pancreatic cancer survivor
from up at
Glenville in Cleveland,
yeah.
And he's a 5% chance of living, I guess, when you have pancreatic cancer.
And
he was on his deathbed twice.
Wow.
And he had to survive for what he's doing up in Cleveland. That was his mindset. So he's been a positive influence on me as well as other people. And Jeff, the generosity, I can't thank everybody enough. Ryan Kelly at Kelly's Bar threw a benefit for me back in March, which was highly successful. Mike Cifaldi had a boxing benefit for me just a couple weeks ago during the Rutgers-Ohio State game, which I didn't go to, and that was successful as well. And again, I mentioned my college experience. One of my roommates or friends at college flew me down. He lives in Texas now. We flew to Dallas, and then we flew to Jackson, Mississippi, drove to Tuscaloosa, Alabama for the Tennessee-Alabama game because Ohio State had a bye week. He knew I was available, and he wanted me to see what real football is all about. So I went down there. It was a great thrill, great pleasure. Very generous person again, Steve Dombowski from Adrian College. He was our quarterback back then, and he's doing real well down in Dallas, and he took care of the whole trip, and just things like that. But people have been so generous to me. And this is Boardman. This is my daughter goes here. I love this school. You know, she's involved in drama. Chloe, my daughter Chloe. So this is, you know, this is home. And he said, what a better place to have this interview for you. I appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you.
No problem, because our show is all about motivation, and it's about, and we're taking a little bit of departure on that because you're dealing with something right now, and you've had that. We talked about you growing up. We talked about you going through college, and then your successful run with Ohio State, and to sports nuts like we are.
I'm just
yeah,
a
but
reporter.
still,
I'm no big deal.
But having a little piece of something like that is still.
It's been a thrill.
Oh, God, yeah.
I would never imagine it, and my father, who never seen this, would be so proud of what I've been able to do. It's not a big deal. I've just been around a lot. That's all. I've been around through the years.
You've been around a lot of successful people, a lot of great players, and that love has been coming back to you.
Former players, and yeah, that's what's nice. When even people you covered in high school, who maybe you don't even know or recognize, they come up to me, you know, we're keep it going. You know,
Yeah,
you're going to make it.
If
everybody tells me I'm going to make it, if I make it, I mean I should, because everybody's telling me I'm going to make it. So
let's go to. You come out of college, you go to get into the playbook, and then the Ohio State stint happens, and then all of a sudden, you know, life's great, life's going good, and then one day you get the news. So walk us through that. You had some bad feeling in your stomach area.
Yeah, I did, and I wasn't sure, you know, and it was coming near March, this past March, and that's the state basketball tournament in Columbus, and I haven't missed one of those since back in the LeBron days. I started going to I cover all this football, basketball, and track, and I was determined not to miss basketball again. It was coming up, and it was during that week, and even before. I first had some feelings in January that something wasn't kind of right, but then it went away, so I thought it was okay. And it sort of came back, and I started to throw up without dry heaving it, or whatever you will. And I just said, well, I'm starting to get a little concerned. Maybe I'll go to the hospital like everybody's telling me, because I was having some issues, get some medication, and go to the state tournament. That was my plan. So I don't know how much you want me to get in depth, but
I want you to get in depth as much as you feel comfortable in getting in depth.
So I ended up listening and finally going into the ER. It was on a Wednesday, and the tournament was Thursday. So I was going to get a check up and get some medicine and go to Columbus. That was my mindset. The doctor came in. They were going to take me to a CAT scan, and I said, I want to have a diagnosis of diverticulitis, and I'm going to go to my basketball tournament after, make sure everything's okay. And she goes, okay, and I got a little kick out of that. So when she came back into the room after we waited for a while after the scan, she comes in and grabs a chair and sits next to my bed and puts her hand on my shoulder and says, we have some issues. We see some things that need to be taken care of. We're going to have to admit you, so you're not going to be able to go to your basketball game. And it was a basketball tournament. I had to clarify her on that. And so I was gone for the weekend. I was admitted on that right away. I had a scope. I guess the doctor, Dr. Vaughn, is a great person. I'm so appreciative of everything he's done for me, and hopefully more in the future, because I'm a colostomy patient as well, and that's like punishment on top of
it's a
punishment.
byproduct of what you had.
It is. It was colon cancer originally, but anyway, they looked in and with a scope. It wasn't a colonoscopy. That was Friday, and it was some kind of other. I forget what it's called. I should have researched it before. And as soon as I awoke, the Dr. Vaughn and the nurse were there and said, You definitely have. They were concerned about what they saw on the CAT scan, and they confirmed it that it was cancer. And right away, they just tell you have cancer, and we're gonna have to fight it. And I really know no other way. I didn't know. When you hear cancer, I don't know.
And you're talking about a 48-hour period now.
Everything you think about from hearing about. Wow, what's it like? Well, I don't know what it's like if you ever got diagnosed with cancer. I used to kind of think of that. I don't know why, but it ended up happening, and you just don't know if there's tomorrow. That's the biggest thing I could say. The unknown, and you're scared of chemo, all that stuff you hear about, and I've been fortunate. I mean, for as bad as it's been and everything I've been through, to get that diagnosis.
And what was the diagnosis? Cancer where?
Colon cancer.
So
they took out part of that Friday, which was I think March 25th, or I forget the exact date. They took out the colon, and they saw a lesion on my liver when they were doing that in the process. So they looked at it. They had to wait till they sewed me back up from my surgery pulling out the colon cancer. They thought they got it all. So as soon as I was healthy enough from that, I took a PET scan, which I'm waiting to do again now. and that's where they light up your organs inside, and they can tell that there's some cancer on the. So when I got that was like stage 4 because it's traveling. And so you know, what choices do you have, Jeff? At that time, I have a 16-year-old daughter here at Boardman High School, and you know, I want to see her graduate. I want to see her, you know, walk her down the aisle. Stuff my brother never got to see with his son Chuck, because he passed away of a heart attack in 2010. Just like that. Talk about, I have a second chance. That's how I look at it. Chuck said goodbye, didn't get to say goodbye. You know, he passed away in his driveway in his home, and never got to say goodbye. So I have a second chance here, and I'm very grateful, and it's emotional. And you know, when you really talk about it, and you see the love from people, not just the vocal part is ridiculous, because everybody I know, everywhere I go, we're with you. Good luck to you. But when you start to see the generosity of people that don't have to do stuff like they're doing, whether it be financially, whether it just be encouraging or taking you places or doing stuff, that, you know, it's overwhelming. It's been overwhelming. I can't thank people like Ryan Kelly enough for doing what he did, and Mike Cifaldi, and my mom, who's already lost a child, you know, doesn't need to have another thing on her. She's 80 years old, just turned 80 this year, and my brother Ray and sister Shar have been great with all the, you know, we have it. And what's tough, Jeff, is every year we have a golfing memorial for my brother Chuck to fund a scholarship fund at YSU, and it's been very successful. And you know, now we got me now, and it's kind of, you know, you feel, it's just, wow, it's just, you know, people can only give so much, but they still give. It's amazing.
So after you've gone through, since this in March, we're now taping on at the end of October.
Yeah.
You've gone through how many chemo treatments?
Well, I just finished my 12th round, and when I was originally diagnosed, I guess, or the prognosis going forward is I was going to have 12 rounds of chemo twice a month for, you know, which was 6 months, and that took me to middle of October, end of October, which is right now. So, you know, I had this great weekend, Jeff, and in Alabama, which was fantastic.
Just a couple days ago.
This past weekend from this taping. It's Wednesday, and this was, or Thursday, and this was this past week when they played Tennessee. Great time, great weather, unbelievable weather. Really enjoyed myself. Come home Monday, couldn't wait to get to chemo, which is something I don't cherish at all, because
it's your last one.
Because I thought it was my last one, and it's like the weekends before chemo. I hate them because I know Monday's coming. Just like the fall, I hate fall right now because winter's coming, you know. But even though it's nice and you get along, you know, it's okay. But it's always mental on the weekends, and I didn't think about it at all till like we're coming back home. I told my buddy I said, Steve, I haven't even thought about chemo, and it's tomorrow. You know, and I'm getting ready to leave Dallas. They fly home to Youngstown, and it was such a great feeling to go there. And I get my regular blood work and everything that they do before my treatment my chemo starts. Everything's good. My blood work's great as always. Doctor comes in and visits, checks up with, you know, does his stethoscope stuff, and says, "Now we got some more chemo to go." I go, "Yeah, I got a couple days. I can't wait, Doc." And you know, I was real excited. You know, no, he goes, "No, we're going. We got to go to the next PET scan. So till we get your next scan." So I don't know exactly when that's going to be. November, December. I'm not sure. It's probably, you have to wait a certain amount of time. But it's, you know, I have to wait and do the chemo. So in the meantime, if Dr. Vaughn could help me out a little bit, we could work on my colostomy, because that was 6 months to a year, and it's reversible, was what I was told.
When you had the colon
and that was March, so it's been longer than 6 months.
You had to get the colostomy bag put on.
And I still, and you know, Jeff, everybody has their crosses to bear, and I mean, this could break you. I mean, I try to be positive. You know, people see me when it's positive, but you know, you deal with this on a daily basis. It breaks you. It really it's tough.
Those are the things that, you know, and I'm so glad that you were gracious enough to come in and talk to us. And I don't know what you're going through.
No,
you know, I have
and
not.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, but I've not had, and a lot of people don't have. We take for granted every day the blessings that all of us have when you're healthy. But when something like this hits, and like you, I had a brother die of a massive heart attack when he was 38. Yeah, same thing. Middle of the night, woke up, that was it. Never had a chance to say goodbye. Never. You take for granted so much. You know, if we get a headache, sometimes we complain. You're fighting the ultimate fight here. And then on top of that, you've got the colostomy bag that you wear on a daily basis that you have to deal with on a 24/7.
I'm a relatively active person. I really am, despite what I look like. And whether it's working out or whether it's covering a game all day or going to Alabama all day, on an airplane all day, you have to worry every single minute about something happening here. And my hands are here because of another condition. It's not because I'm covering my colostomy.
Because of the chemo.
One of the side effects is it's cold out here, and now my fingertips are kind of lighting up like when your foot falls asleep times 20. That if I just leave them out, but it's okay. I'm just kind of keeping them kind of warm because as soon as the cold hits my extreme, fingertips and nerves, they stay there. I haven't had trouble with my feet or toes, but any of that. So everything along that line has been okay, just dealing with it, and got to wear gloves when like at a high school football game on Friday now. It'll probably be cold. I'll have to be not here this weekend. The Boardman better win this weekend against Lakeside to get in the playoffs, but if they don't deserve to be in, quite frankly, and I'm a big Boardman fan. But, I'm just covering them up here now, but the colostomy, hopefully that's reversible, and I could really deal with cancer even better because, it's harder. It makes it harder to deal just daily basis. Just whatever you got to do. And I know I could work out harder, and that's going to help my health and everything else.
How do you stay so positive? I mean, you've got such a great attitude towards it, though. When off camera, you're always positive about it.
I think when you get cancer, you're facing your mortality. Are you gonna? I'm eventually my obituary is going to read he finally lost his courageous and valiant attempt with cancer. I mean, I know that's the first vindicator. You got it written out already. I mean, when it happens, I'm eventually going to lose my battle with cancer. I guess that's how I'm going to expire, if you will. I don't know of a better word to say. So you just got to. What can you do? Just when I finish my chemo, Jeff, and Monday's the hardest day. It's 4 hours, 4.5. Now it's getting a little bit less time-wise than originally.
Is it painful?
It's not painful, but you're so lethargic. When I leave there, you just have no energy. You're just sapped, especially on the Monday. That's the worst day of it all for me. And, when I first started, the first time I had it, I didn't know what feeling I would have. You're terrified. The nurses wear gloves because the chemo will burn their skin. And they're drip. That's what's going in my body, They have to, so you think about this kind of stuff, and you're sitting there, and your chemo's done. Once in a while, I get a visitor comes in and says hi, which is real good at the Blood and Cancer Center out there in Canfield. It's not far, so people can come and say hi. They know where I'm at for the next 4 or 5 hours. My feet up in there in a recliner, and I got a port in my chest, and I got more holes than Swiss cheese right now with the colostomy and with the port, but it's what I got to do to live. And,
it's the fight you got to fight. Yeah.
It's not unbearable by any means, but it's such a inconvenience, and it's just horrible. I don't want to get too graphic, but when you're dealing with the colostomy every day and you don't know when or how, or it's not good. It's just a mental thing more than anything else. But if I didn't have that, I wouldn't know right now that I have cancer. I mean, I feel strong. I feel good. Eventually, I don't know what's going to happen if it does start to deteriorate. But right now, my initial PET scan in the middle, the doctor said your cancer cells are significantly reduced. So that either means I had a lot and now I got a manageable, or it was manageable and it's a little bit. So I didn't really.
So it's moving in the right direction.
It's definitely trending the right way. But the less I know, the better, because I know once you hear cancer, you don't want to hear any worse. I mean, what worse is there to hear? So it's just mental. That's why I like being around people and having fun and smile, because when you're by yourself, it's the worst time of all.
You've made the most of that, and the people around you have really surrounded around, and you're wearing this shirt that says Houstrong, and the community has really got behind you because of that. And you have it, and you're fighting it on a daily basis, and so many other people are too.
Well, that's what's the problem, Jeff, from my point of view. And I know there's so many other people that have cancer. I'm not the only one. I get that, But yet they don't. I know they don't have the support. But that's where the guilt comes in. I can. The same person have cancer sitting next to me. They don't have, they don't have the support and the love and the backing that I've been. And you kind of feel guilty because it's hard enough a struggle for me,
Yeah.
and I'm blessed. And how about the people that aren't as fortunate as I am when they're going through this? And take care of your health, people. I mean, I don't know if you had a colonoscopy, or I don't know, even you, Jeff, I don't know anybody, get a colonoscopy just to get a good bill of health, because I waited too long. It was I didn't. You know,
How old are you?
52 when
50,
I got it. I'm 53
is
now.
when they want you to
and
start
you know,
getting
my
it.
family has a little bit of history, so I should have got a little bit earlier. And I should have. They said, because when the doctor told me, when we're worried about treating the liver now, hold on, this cancer's been in you 5-6 years. It's no hurry, you know. It's because it grew. They saw probably the tumor around the colon
So I
grew.
never even considered
grew
how
to a
long.
point.
I don't know, like
He
how.
said-
Do you get it and then all of a sudden you know immediately? Yours was in your that long?
Well, that's what he said, but probably because of the size of it, I guess. Whereas if you get it when it's just a pulp and they can cut it out,
Yeah.
or take care of it there, it's much different than, you know, what I have to deal with now in this situation. But I don't know. I don't.
So that's why they urge you so strongly to go get that colonoscopy.
And I urge others to do it. Don't wait. If you just get it for a clean bill of health, just for your peace of mind, because the surgery that I went through, the post-op, Jeff, I woke up screaming in pain, not knowing where I was. This is all that I remember, screaming, please, somebody help me. And they said, we've given you all the pain medicine we can right now. It'll subside, just hold on. I was screaming in pain. It was the worst pain I've ever had, because I had sort of major abdominal surgery, I guess, if you will, to remove the colon cancer, which they think they got it all. So again, we won't know till the PET scan what they got. And I guess now the process is to find out when I get my next scan, is it reduced enough, or is it gone, first of all? If it's not, is it reduced enough where they could cut it out, because the liver rejuvenates itself?
Yeah.
I don't know much, anatomy, whatever, but you can cut it out, or they could just start more treatments again. And another thing, I'm starting to feel bland with food and stuff. So things are happening, but again, it's nothing that you just you're starting over. I mean, you almost have to do things different ways. You just have to accept it. I guess that's my situation. You just have to accept it.
But by no means do you ever wake up, and I'm sure you've got probably right, or there are days when it's probably overwhelming to you. What keeps that positive mental attitude that you have every day fighting? What is it?
Because if you pity yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. And I don't want to be pity. I keep sort of what you would call on Facebook, just an informative thing for the people that want to know, that know me. I write about some of my cancer situations, and for me, it just feels good to be able to do that and to be positive and I try to be positive and to inspire somebody, because
it is inspiring.
That's my only choice, because take it for what it's worth. It's not a good situation. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, the stuff that you've been through, with the cancer and all the treatments and all the. But then you turn around and all the love, and I can't even describe. I had people at our first benefit that are at tailgates every week that came up. They live in Toledo, they live in Cincinnati. They came up to the benefit because we have such a great family environment at our tailgates at Ohio State before the game. And like I said, I've been doing this a while, Jeff, and I've been around, and just the great people. I had kids from my Little League World Series team there. I had high school kids there. I just people that I know now. Everybody has been so gracious, and that's one thing I can never ever.
It'd be a great feeling to know that you touch so many people. I guess you never realize how many people in your life that you touch, and you had that opportunity, albeit not in the greatest circumstances, but they came back to you at that point.
I think it's just little things, because I'm just me. I take a lot of pictures. I send people pictures, of their kids and of their family, and when you get a smile on somebody's face from what you do, that's all. I don't need anything else in return for that. And the way it's worked out with, all this love and support. Ron Podesta, Bob Hannon, Greg Gullis, Dana Balish, anybody in the media and I pretty much know everybody just because I've been like an old fixture around here for a while. They've all been a part of it. It's been incredible, the support and the love, and I just worry about my daughter here, a student at Boardman, and she's a junior. She's a 4.0. She's the light of my life. She's my reason. That's why That's
So
she's my
your
reason.
goal every day, every other Monday when you're there.
'Cause
That's
I have to try to every other Monday. Yeah, every other Monday, and I have to try to be around and at least set an example for her to. People say I'm brave. I don't know. I'm trying to save my life, Jeff. So if that's brave, that's just self-preservation. In my point, that's what it's got to, because the day I stopped walking, or I quit going to the Y temporarily because of my colostomy. I don't want to have any kind of an issue there. Just self-limits on myself. So I just try to make the best I can, and the healthier I could be. And what happened was, Jeff, to be honest with you, I started to lose weight at the beginning of the year. 2017 was my year to lose some weight, and I was doing really good because my daughter did really good, and I followed her examples of stuff she did with the processed foods and sugars and stuff like that. I quit all that. Now it turns out, because of the colostomy, 6 months later now, after I had dropped almost 60 some pounds, I have to eat some of that same stuff that I was, bread and rice and stuff that is good for your, now we're probably getting in the wrong type of conversation here, but it's good for it's better for the colostomy situation. So I'm kind of putting on, every time I go to chemo, I put on a few pounds, but I still I will work out every first thing I do is, whether it's the mall or here outside, if it's not too cold, I try to get a good walk in or a good workout in one way or another, and just try to set the tone for the rest of the day, because
So would you say that the experience that you're going through now, once you found out to today, has put a lot of things into perspective for you? About what really is important in life?
Well, it's without question, it's unbelievable, and that's why it's about relationships. It's about, go that extra mile, do something special for somebody, make them smile.
Doesn't cost anything to be kind.
And for me, I go from snapping a picture to putting it in the computer and sending an email, and people love you for that. Or put it on Facebook, and people love you for that. And just little things you can do, or make them an 8x10. Take it to them. I was there for this moment of yours, and it was fantastic. And little things like that. I just try to, if you can fit it into your day, that makes it just a wonderful day. And the more you could kind of think of others and let them know you're concerned about them, or you appreciate what they do. I mean, that's all.
Don't miss a chance to say that, is what you're saying.
I guess so. And
every chance you get, let somebody know how you feel about them. Every chance you got to talk to somebody, talk to them. Every time you have an opportunity to, if you're arguing with somebody, to make it right, make it right.
Because maybe just because I'm in this situation, they've gave their love to me. I have to pay it forward.
Well, I think you're paying it forward by being an inspiration. I read
hope,
the Facebook.
I hope so.
I'm friends with you on Facebook. I read everything that you put on there, and you are truly an inspiration for what you're going through, and the attitude that you have, and the fact that you're sharing it with everybody. I think that means an awful lot. You might not realize it, but it does, and that's why I put the word perspective. It puts a lot of perspective into everybody's life. We have, because of TV and everything, you're bombarded with how you should be feeling in life and what should be important, and it's not. And then we forget about what really is important. And you're fighting this battle now, and you understand what really is important.
And I found out that naps are really important too now. I mean, I don't know if
you're just getting up there in age on that.
Well, could be that, or also.
No, trust me on that.
Yeah. And then, because I said, even Wednesday, the last day of the chemo, when you're done, I feel so great when you leave the thing.
It's a 3-day process?
It's a 3-day real quick, I guess. I go in on Monday, I get all measured up, and then I go to the chemo room, and they hook my port up, and I start my chemo. When I leave after my 4 or 5 hours, I get a portable unit, and I go walking either in the mall or in the park, and I tell people I feel like Flava Flav with the hanging around your neck. If you put a clock instead of my chemo, I'm looking like Flavor Flav out there walking in the mall and stuff. But I do that, take it home, go back Tuesday, and you get an hour and a half, almost not even half the time, another quick shot, and then they put the portable unit back on. And then Wednesday you go and you take it in, and you're chemo free till the next following Monday. The only difference now, Jeff, after the 12 rounds is my Tuesdays I don't have to go into the office anymore. So I'll go for my 3-4 hour chemo. It's getting a little bit, everything's decreasing, which is good, I guess. And I go in there, I'll get my portable unit till Wednesday I go back. So only difference, I don't have to go into the office for an hour and a half, 2 hours to get that Tuesday treatment. I guess it'll just incorporate it into my drip that I carry with me, and when I'm being Flavor Flav at the mall.
Carrying it around with you.
But
That's still 3 days. 3 days that are completely different than 6 or 7 months ago.
Yeah, and that's
and
where
again,
that's where the naps come in big too.
Really?
All 3 of the Wednesdays, like yesterday, was really, you're just drained. I mean, it's nothing physical. I mean, it's physical. I mean, you're just drained as far as.
And I'm sure different people react differently to
That's
chemo.
me, and I take, so it's therefore one step in front of the other. And just whether it's the mall or here or in the park, you know, otherwise, what are you going to do? Go home and lay down and sleep all day, and I'm just trying to do whatever I can to
No, you've been way too active.
make sure that it doesn't slow me down.
Yeah.
Because when it does, I don't know if it's going to happen like this, or if it's going to happen gradually. I don't know. So.
Or you're going to find
Or
out that
I'll be here 18 years talking about back in 19
yeah, you could
or
be
2000.
You could be
whatever.
another Ginn story too. You don't know. I mean, with your
Yeah.
positive attitude, anything. Look at that, 5%.
And that was him.
Anything could happen.
He was determined in his mind. He had more work for the children. He calls it. You know, he's got a tough up there. Glenville's.
Yeah.
That's East Cleveland. I mean, that's a tough area, and the kids he has aren't kids that usually, you know, sometimes have it a little rougher than, you know, be
Yeah.
thankful for what you have. I mean, a lot of it sometimes is, you know, just be thankful that you're born in this country, let alone
Yeah,
anything
first of all,
else.
yeah.
And this is the greatest country on earth to be able to pursue any dreams you
Yeah,
want.
the
For
worst-
the most part,
The worst person off in America is a million times better off than any other country in the world.
sure. So you just got to try to take advantage of your opportunities. I'm trying to help my education just for myself right now on the computer, doing stuff to keep me busy when I'm not, you know, because when the downtime is the hardest time of all, Jeff, to be honest with you. And, you know, I still watch some TV. When the Buckeyes are on the road, I enjoy because I get to watch it with my buddies, the games that I, you know, because when I'm at the game, I really don't get, you know, you're just a lens and
Yeah.
there's just, and then it's great being there, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of work involved with it too when you go down there. And, you know, my day ends way later than the last second on the clock. So when I go to cover a Buckeye game, but it's all labor of love, and I would do it again tomorrow, and you know, hopefully I'll be doing it for 30 years, let alone 17.
And you've got to work with some really great people. Coach Tressel and now Coach Meyer. I mean, when you're talking about a top 5, top 10 list of all the greats ever, those guys got to be somewhere in there.
You know, I don't want to be a name dropper. I'm not that kind of a guy, but you know, Coach Tressel was one of the. As soon as I got diagnosed, was one of the first phone calls I got, and I could almost remember it. You know, Gary Housteau, this is Jim Tressel. I just calling to let you know we're thinking of you, all the Buckeyes and all the Penguins out there. To throw those kind of words at me, and you know that I've been, just makes you feel like, you know, from him, you know, from Jim Tressel, one of the greatest coaches at Ohio State, one of them.
It's going to have to be incredibly humbling for.
And then on top of that, he made a point to offer, and I'm sure because of my cancer, to bring my daughter down and give him he gave her a tour of the college like he was recruiting her to play football, you know, at YSU, and she's a 4.0 here at Boardman. Hopefully, you know, she wants to go to the big city sometime, you know, make it big somewhere. But take care of your education first. Maybe 4 years. Jim Tressel goes, come here 4 years, get a free education or whatever with your scholarships, and then go pursue your dreams. Right. And maybe she'll do that. Hopefully she'll stick around a while, but she wants to chase the big lights in the big city.
There's nothing wrong with YSU. It's a great school.
It is, and get a degree and then go pursue
right.
it. And I'll be around here a little bit more to be able to help you and take care of you. But he's been great. I got a text when I just after I was diagnosed, and again, I don't want to name drop. I'm not like that, but I get a text. I start reading it about your good friend Cheryl Boza, who's the father of, or the mother of the Boza kids, informed me that you're having some health issues, and I just want to know, I'm praying for you. And I get this text, I'm reading it, and I still don't know what it is, and on the bottom it has a dash that says Urban Meyer. You know, so I mean, just I don't know Urban like I know Jim Tressel. Obviously, I'm just a face, you know, down there, because I'm not a beat writer or anything like that. For him, he probably, you know, he might recognize me because I've been around there long enough, but he probably don't know me personally at all because I don't have a relationship with that, like with them. But just for him to take time, because you know, one of a friend of mine who's been great to me as well. The Bosa family is great. I can't, you know. The people I've met, again, it's look at the people I've met, Jeff, and the Buckeye fans in general. That's a, you know, they would do anything to have those kind of, the real hardcore, you know how those are, to meet these kind of people, and they're just like normal friends. And I hate to even, I'm just blessed, you know, just to have the, and she contributed to my benefit and everything. It's just incredible.
It speaks volumes of what kind of person you were and what they think of you. I mean, not everybody is like you, you know, and somebody like you takes it for granted what a good person you are. And you're getting that back now from the people, you know, trying to do whatever they can. I mean, only you can obviously go through what you're going through, but lending their support and their love while you're going through it is all they can do. And we're all pulling for you. And we know that if anybody's going to be able to do it, it's going to be you. And when you pull everybody together, you know,
I sure hope all you guys are right.
Yeah.
All the people that have told me, you're going to make this, you're going to beat this, you're going to, that's the plan. I'm
the
with
plan.
you.
Just gotta stick
real
with
quick,
it.
I want to give Billy Price a little credit down there at Ohio State. He goes out of his way. He goes out of his way almost on a weekly basis to tap me on the shoulder, whether he's coming off the field, whatever, how are you doing, is everything okay? He's just an incredible person, you know, and like I said, it's they're just people like us, Jeff, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you know, certain people that do certain things make you really feel
but they're people that have so many things going on in their lives. You know, dealing with so many, you know, so many balls in the air that they're juggling.
Exactly.
To take, even if it's a minute.
I don't expect it.
Yeah, just that minute out to give you that little bit of support or whatever it is, that little bit of encouragement. I can understand how that means it, but you have it coming to you because of what you know. There's not a lot of things that are real and universal laws, but karma to me is real, and what you put out there is what you get back. You know, and
sometimes
what you put out there over the years is what you're getting back right now, and that's why you're going to be fine and you're going to get through this.
I'm with you, but I just don't feel worthy sometimes, you know, Jeff. I guess that's just a little thing that you got to deal with, you know, when you're facing certain things.
For you to share this today, for you to come on here today, sitting here, it's cold outside. Your hands are cold. You're sharing with people what it's like to go through chemotherapy. You're sharing with these people to not take for granted your health for a minute, because you don't know what could happen. We both have brothers that have passed away like that. We thought that the next day we were going to be able to get on the phone and talk to them. That was taken away from us. You have to hold everything in perspective every day, and you're living proof of it right now.
And I think if you're fortunate, I've experienced this. Obviously, a lot of great contributions have come from people that can afford it. And what I mean is, you know, make the most of your life and be able to try to be in that position where you could give and help and make somebody feel special, because, man, that lasts more than the actual donation, whatever it was. You know, if you can help somebody, if you're in that position, lend a helping hand. I mean, I'm trying to do it more than ever now, and I'm limited means, obviously, now, even with cancer, but you try to do what's right, and, you know, whether it's with your God in church or whatever, just try to do the right thing and make people feel good, and, man, it goes a long way, because I'm the recipient of it, and it goes more than the donation. I mean, it goes, wow, thank you so much. I'm you know, and I try to say God bless to people, because why not? You can never say here God bless you too many times in a day. It's just one. It's like when you sneeze, a chew. You know, God bless you. I mean, if you see somebody, they do something nice, let them know you appreciate it. Say God bless you, thank them, and hopefully, you know, karma will be, you know.
I'm going to give you 30 seconds before we end this if you want to say thank you to anybody, or if you just want to give a message out to people to not take things for granted, or whatever you want to say. It's your time. Go.
You know, I've just been overwhelmed by and people that know me, you know, pretty well. I'm just an average guy. My brother Chuck was an unassuming guy, and I try to be. He's like been the person I've kind of been compared to a lot, and it's just been an honor and a privilege to be able to, you know, have that kind of a recognition when you see coaches and players, and I'm just thankful to be in this situation. As rough as that might sound, I wouldn't wish it on anybody out there. Take care of your health, make people feel good, do what you can to, I don't know, make it a better place if you can, because you never know. You never know when that day is going to come, Jeff, and I've just been very grateful and blessed to have great people in my life. It's all it is. I've just known great people and have good relationships, and try to do what I can to make somebody somebody's day. You know, we're dealing with high school kids out here. I've been dealing with them for 30 years, and it's a privilege to be able to, you know, help them feel good about what they're doing, or try to encourage them, or try to make their day a little bit better, and their parents, you know, their parents as well, because everybody loves their kids, and that's all. I'm just thankful and grateful, and anybody who's taken an interest one way or another, whether it be financially, just reading, anything, I appreciate it, and God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Let's do this again next year, same time.
Yeah, let's hope.
Let's hope.
Maybe 16 years from now
16,
we'll do it.
and we'll do what's that old same time next year?
Yeah.
But not that way.
Yeah.
But same time next
Let's
year.
just hope. Hope and pray, guys.
Hope and pray.
And
All
I
right.
accept all prayers. Thank you very much.
Gary Housteau, an incredibly inspiring guy. Thank you very much for coming on and sharing your story with these people and our audience. And again, same time next year, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
We're going to be right back and end up 66 days right after this. Welcome back to 66 Days to Success. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Gary. I took a lot from it, and that was the whole purpose, so that maybe you could take some things from it too and realize what really, really is important in your life. And to put the priorities first. Don't sweat the small stuff, however you want to cliche it or put it, but put things into perspective. Welcome back to 66 Days to Success. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Gary Housteau. I most certainly did. And I hope that you take away from that interview, and he hopes that you take away from that interview, what really is important. To make sure you maintain your health, make sure you maintain your relationships. Don't sweat the small stuff, however you want to cliche it, but to remember what is really important. And not pay attention to the monetary things, to the materialistic things. Pay attention to what's really important. The relationships that you have around you. Everything at any moment can change in a blink of an eye. So make the most of every moment that's given to you. We're going to be back again next month with another edition of 66 Days to Success. Thanks for watching, and thank you, Gary Housteau. We know you're going to beat this. Take care.